Garlinghouse once said Ripple is dedicated to making XRP the most really reliable, practical, and liquid digital asset on the damn planet. You're terrified, aren't you? Not you, perhaps, but there are those men who are afraid that XRP would not reach the heights we'd hoped for. However, this is directly from the horse's mouth, discussing no, they will succeed in achieving their objective, men, which is to make more P the king. Well, therefore, I wouldn't be very afraid today. Price activity will be our primary topic of discussion, with perhaps some other news as well. Over the weekend, I believe there was an additional P Las Vegas event. Let's go on to the hyper liquid whale, long additional P with a 12th X leverage, man. His precise worth is around $1 million and his entry price is $2.13. All right, so people continue to purchase and hold XRP. Maybe this is because they are optimistic right now and the water above. According to him, the bottom of XRP should arrive by June 4th or 6th. Dear XRP troops, hold on, what? In the days to come then, XRP is going to plummet. I sincerely hope they took a little longer than expected, because I'm attempting to convince. And what about discussing the reasons for and timing of XRP's trajectory? I believe we decided to call it after June 18th. Meanwhile, anticipate a straight line breakout to $10.00 by the end of July or the beginning of August. Be mindful of the upcoming week. There will be extensive tampering from June 3rd until June 6th. Oh, he is. I was going to mention that manipulation will be at an all-time high because it's a new brand week, guys. So let's discuss it. All right, gentlemen, let's discuss what's going on with XRP. Recall that I did contribute, but it was sold for about 100 XRP. So let's see what transpired. The previous time we spoke, we were discussing price charts for more pieces. Here we were. All right, we dumped or we bounced, but my goal was to find out where my $10.00 was. That is $2.00 and $2.00 and 10 sunskis right here. All right, that was my initial objective. Right then, I threw along. Despite pumping, we descended again. I believe I went almost 100 times before we came back down. I took some out with a slight loss, and then I went back in. First of all, where was it? Guys, I believe it was here. Let's return here, shall we? I responded again over here. And then I was like, okay, when we began pumping, I passed out. So hopefully it some more vanishes. Yes, I was so exhausted that I actually passed out, guys. I was in a trade at this time when they pumped it, and I neglected to set a stop loss. So it simply fell for the liquidity grab. After that, they pushed it, and see what happened. We made a quite accurate call. It was right here, folks, and they did drop 1%, which is not good. Although it wasn't very accurate, we've returned to this point. If you folks didn't recall, I did say something. The entrance price will be available, but the game is over if XRP tags $2.09. All right, I'll say it again. If XRP did tag this level, it indicates that the next Fibonacci level has been reached, and XRP will most likely drop below $2.00 at some point. I'm hoping they'll take some time, because I do hope they don't just dump it at the way back down during this retrace. All right, and I'm hoping they hold it. Before we take off, I'm very certain they'll keep it at these levels down here, am I right? But first, let's discuss the extra P for this Bitcoin. So basically, as of right now, we know that the route is clear. Hence, an extra P for Bitcoin on the same video that I just showed you all. As I previously stated, we must surpass this level. So let's review what I mentioned in the video, Bitcoin versus XRP. Yes, it's something like this that I would like to see. Here, guys, we need to be above this level, guys. So we instantly snapped back up to it. We're currently below it, but on the 12-hourly candles, we dipped below and then we snapped back to that level. You know what? Resistance was aided by it. That's terrible news, Bear. Really awful. News, guys. All right, so the outlook is more pessimistic. In the immediate term, I humbly believe that we still need to rise above this point. It's holding resistance, don't you think? That is really insane. Here we're spot on. Now, gentlemen, here is what I'm thinking about this chart. All right, so there are bullish divergences building on the higher time frames or attempting to form on the weekly. They might come down like this, isn't it what they might do? However, unlike the 3, 2, and daily days, we would need to have bullish divergences in order to determine when the real reversal will occur, right? It's like getting killed at this point. To be truthful, I'm currently leaning more negative, but eventually they will retrace XRP before a further decline. But see, I sincerely hope they take their time, because I want to get some XRP before that pump reaches new all-time highs. Check out this tweet now. There's a We're at the end of the road, guys. Take a look at this, 2017. It's exactly the same pattern as 2017. This concludes 2025, and we are currently at the last drop. If that's the case, this fractal displays correctly. Yes, it's time to depart, which makes the most sense, correct? According to Mr. Zoom, earlier orders will be coming in at $2 for the next lot of purchases, correct? If I'm not mistaken, that is the next Fibonacci level. What location is it? We'll see. Yes, folks, you're right here. It will eventually reach the 0.5 Fibonacci level because it reached that $2 nonsensical level, all right? And if it breaks that, it will reach the 618 level. However, at some point around those levels, it will most likely continue to hold support for the following higher. All we need is money to flood in, and XRP. ETFs are one way to do that. Yes, Jeremy, we need more ETFs to launch. And when do you really need ETFs to launch? In actuality, we need market spot buys, which will be made possible by the ETF. So when it happens, it will be very positive. This is because spot buying will be used instead of only betting on the futures. Okay, there's a lot of people there. So don't worry, guys. Brian Garlinghouse basically said, we are going to surprise the world about how big of a bench we can put in the universe. And how will they do that? Exactly by this from Ripple. They're showcasing or saying one of the oldest and largest foreign exchange agencies in Portugal is expanding its global footprint with Ripple payments. Hopefully, the month of June will arrive after a brief trip to speak at an XRP conference in Venice. I am aware that we discussed the daily price action of XRP, correct? Since I don't want others to worry. But why are you concerned if you consider the long term? With over 30 years of market expertise, Unicambio is the biggest and oldest exchange in Portugal because it has the technology, a wide global reach, and a solution that is both high quality and reasonably priced for Unicambio's needs. xrp is a service provider. People Payments enables us to conduct business transactions between two companies, one in Brazil and one in Portugal, quickly, securely, and with liquidity. We see excellent chances to investigate additional services offered by xrp and to grow to new providers. Yes, I am referring to the bridgemen, both between states and between countries in general. Therefore, if I were you, I wouldn't be overly concerned. Take a look at what an XRP are, right, guys? Mikkel says, this is intriguing. Let's investigate this. Hello, everyone. My favorite influencers are joining me at XRP Vegas. I feel a little anxious. Michael and I are President Lowe. It's wonderful to be here, and I'm quite eager to meet you in some way. This interview is long overdue today because we didn't see each other during the full conference. It's long overdue. All right, so in my opinion, you are the king of XRP, aside from Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz. So I have a question for you. This will be a simple question to allow you to tell my audience about the significance and worth of XRP and how it will change international payments and finance. Of course, in my opinion, she is simply too good. I'm really grateful for that. The most crucial thing to realize about XRP is that the interbank communication network and the global settlement infrastructure have long relied on technologies developed in the 1950s. Because we have apps like PayPal and Robinhood, it can be challenging for us as customers to see that, and everything just appears to be going so smoothly. However, because the technology supporting all of these new apps has not been updated, the bottom line is a complete jumble. Instead of basically conducting a relay race of money from one financial institution to another, with humans on the back end altering databases and reconfirming and then mucking things up, this is what is changing. You now possess the technology to instantly transport money any place in the world. And I liken it to basically switching from using letters and actual mail to email as a means of conveying information. The same is true with regard to money. Therefore, when it comes to money, we are still in the phase when we are exchanging money between various banking institutions in the manner of sending an envelope. But as soon as we can begin teleporting that money back and forth like email, you'll see that efficiency levels skyrocket. Not only will the things we have now become immensely more powerful and efficient, but we'll also be able to develop